Hello, Jonathan from Heli here, and we're doing a pre-winter checklist to help get your home ready for the winter season. We're going to do 10 quick points to make sure you're ready for winter. So first, we're going to make sure that you remember to disconnect and drain your hoses. Hose bibs, important thing just to make sure the hose is off them, so if they freeze and there's water in there, it doesn't burst your frost-free hose bib. So we're going to disconnect the hose. You can lift it up, make sure you run all the water through it. You can lift it up all the way down, a little bit at a time, to make sure all the water runs right out the end of the hose. And if you do have a frost-free hose bib, it's always a good idea just to loosen off the vacuum breaker for the winter so that that doesn't freeze as well. Sometimes you get a bit of water in there. And then if you can, number two is if you do have a off valve for your frost-free hose bibs inside, you can always turn those off, just to make sure you don't have any freeze-ups on the frost-free hose bibs. Second, we're going to check to make sure that in your combustion air inlet screens for either your appliances or for your home don't have any buildup in them, and you can make sure the vents are clear of debris as well. These ones look good. Those are some plastic combustion intakes and exhausts for a high efficiency appliance. And on the other side of the house here, we're just going to go look at some fresh air intakes for the ventilation air. And we found this is one thing that does get overlooked quite a bit. Here we've got another frost-free hose bib. We'll quickly loosen off the vacuum breaker, and then we're going to go and take a look inside the fresh air intake. And what you'll find in here is this one's actually almost completely plugged. This one's okay, but the smaller one, you can see how tight the screen is and how much that can actually plug off, which will end up making it so that you don't get fresh air into your home. And to clean that, we're just going to go and use a little wire brush, anything small enough you can get inside there without damaging that screen. And you can see already it's looking a lot better. And then just take a little soap and water or anything else you'd like, just to make sure that screen gets completely cleaned off, and then you can have air pass easily through it. You can see how much better that is already. And we can work a little bit harder to get the top of that bit, but we'll do that later. So after that, we're going to go inside and we're going to check the furnace filters, and making sure that your furnace filter is cleaned is one of the most important things you can do. Big reason for that is, there we go. Big reason for that is your furnace can't heat the house if it can't move any air. And if your furnace can't move any air, it will generally go out on a high temperature safety. So we're going to come down here, pull out the old furnace filter. You can see the old furnace filter here compared to the new one. And that's even pretty minor compared to most furnace filters we pull out, but just remember, if your furnace can't get the air through it, it can't heat your house, and you'll definitely end up with some heating problems. So we're just going to slip the new furnace filter in there. Make sure you just get the arrow pointed in the right direction. The arrow always wants to point towards the furnace, which is going to be the direction of the airflow. After that, you can take a quick look at the furnace just to make sure there's no issues with combustion or any strange looking black sooting around any of the vent pipes. And we're going to go up and look at the thermostat. And once we go look at the thermostat, what you'll find is that if a lot of the ones that do use batteries, you want to make sure you don't see any battery symbols. Make sure your batteries are fresh for the winter. We're going to go to heat, turn it on, and make sure that there's no battery symbols on there. And there, that's all good. So we can always change those out just in case. But for now, we'll just leave it that way. Now we're just going to turn the furnace up and make sure it cycles through a heating cycle. And when it cycles through a heating cycle, we should be able to see the flame come on. We can take off this top take off that top cover on the furnace. We just want to see it go through one heating cycle, so we can look through this little sight glass and make sure that it turns on and off once. And once it turns on, you see the blue flame come on. Wait for about 30 seconds and the fan should come on, and just make sure that you're getting a nice blue flame. Furnace comes on and the furnace fan comes on after that as well. And after that, we want to make sure we test the carbon dioxide sensors in your home. Just make sure that they're working properly. You can push the button and make sure that you get a noise out of them. And you might want to take a look at your replacement date and your batteries in those as well. And the last couple things we want to do is, if you've got a boiler, you may want to check your glycol concentration. You need a refractometer for that, and all you need to do is take a little boiler drain down, just open up just a little bit to get a few drips out of it, put it on your refractometer and make sure your glycol concentrations are still good so that you don't have any of your slabs freeze in the winter. Especially important if you have a garage with snow melt, or a garage with radiant heat in it, or snow melt. So you want to make sure that your concentrations are below freezing. And lastly, you can always visit Heli School and watch a video on how to maintain your furnace, where it's a little more in depth on how to make sure that your furnace is going to be working properly for winter. So that's it for today for Heli School and our pre-winter checklist, and we hope that helped you guys get ready for winter.